So this past weekend, I got out to my first Iron Soul Tactical 2-gun match. This was also the first match I had shot this year, so this is going to be my match breakdown video. We'll talk about the stages, what I did right, wrong, and get into it. So this is the first stage we shot. It's actually stage 3. They called it Do Not Forget, and so started out barricaded on these two, barricades, I guess you could call them. And if you notice around the port that I'm in right now is these orange stickers. So, and then now in this one, it's brown stickers. So when you're in these different ports, you have to engage the color coordinated targets. So really on this stage, you needed to have some sort of magnification. So I'm using my Zero Tech 1:6 Vengeance with the top mounted red dot. I also thought it was kind of a cool POV. You can see through the red dot, but once you engage the targets, they're just these smaller USPSA style targets. You run forward, you have a extra point shot that you take, and then some paper targets you have to engage. And then in your pistol, it started loaded, but you could only load your first mag with 11 shots, so it forced a reload. And then right there, you have to shoot the steel to engage the mover, shoot the paper, and then you can engage the 2 steels. So that stage, I ended up taking 4th overall, and felt pretty good for the first stage. So this was stage 4. Start out engaging these 4 rifle steels with 4 rounds each. Once you do that, forced reload while you're moving to this first shooting position. You have some paper you have to engage. Right there, that second group of targets is actually 3. The bottommost one was very hard to see. You only got like 2 inches of it. So once you engage all that, you dump your rifle, you engage the steel again with your pistol, and then you have some small steel poppers off to the right side of the berm there, and some paper as well. And then here in shooting position 2, you have a supernova off to the left side that you have to engage from this position. Everything else can be engaged from anywhere in the shooting bots, but you have to engage the supernova from that position. So you see I started to move, forgot about the supernova, so I had to go back. In this stage, really, I just steadily forgot a lot of stuff. So that's finally out of the way, and right now I'm thinking what do I need to hit? And so I decided to just go up and take out these last 2 papers, and I had forgotten about the last set of steel poppers there off to my right, so I had to go back and get those. Overall, I ended up taking 6th on this stage, so, little mistakes ended up costing me. So this was stage 5. You could actually game this stage quite a lot. If you see that rope on the ground, that's the shooting bots, but you can actually see all of the paper from this starting barrel that you're at. And so the way to game it would be to just brace on this shooting barrel, and you can just take a little bit quicker, accurate shots on those smaller targets, and you didn't even have to move. So once you engage that, you dump the rifle, run all the way over here. Your pistol had to be unloaded. So once you entered the shooting bots over here, you could load it and then engage all the targets in front of you with pistol. There's supposed to be 2 small steel poppers off in between those paper targets, which were not put up before my time to run. So I tell the RO, and he tells me that it's gonna have to be a reshoot. So
Y'all gotta give it to me at that point.
we get to reshoot it. So there's a couple things that I had kind of messed up on that first run, so I wanted to try to clean them up right here.
There goes the pants.
Ended up not working out too well. I forgot to rack one out of my rifle beforehand, but we press on. All the same stuff. So if you notice, the blue barrel on the top of the screen right there has a target. The white barrel has a target, and then there's 2 other paper targets beyond the white barrel, and then that orange or yellow wall has 2 targets there as well. And it was quite muddy, as you can tell. Lost my footing there. And if you notice, even though they weren't set up the first time, somebody still didn't set them up. So it's partially on me for not making sure they were set up. Myself, partially on the RO for not making sure they were set up. So they ended up just giving it to me. And when I initially started the stage, I ripped the absolute hell out of my pants. So right when I took the knee at the start of the stage, you can hear it in the video if you play it back. You can just hear my pants rip. So moving on to, this is now stage 1. You know, and then we started on stage 3. This was an interesting stage. So you start here, and you have all those rifle papers, which are the turtle shaped targets, and then you have the 2 steels. So there's 4 shooting positions. At each shooting position, you have to engage both of the steels with 1 round each, and then you have to rotate between them all, and then you can engage all of the paper targets at any time. So I tried to game it by shooting all of the rifle targets from the first position. Then I just have to run around and shoot the steel twice. And then when you get back to the starting position, you have to shoot the steel 1 more time. So once you do that, you dump the rifle. And it's the same thing with pistols. So you shoot the steel 1 time each. And then you go to the next position. You have to shoot the steel 1 time each, as well as paper. And then you can see there's a small little popper. You can see I got a little tripped up there. Forgot to shoot the steel, but I recovered and engaged it. And man, this stage was tiring. You know, not only is it a lot of running, but you're running through wet, slippery mud. So you're having to use a lot more of your, you know, fine motor skills and, you know, the balancing muscles to run and not fall. So if you notice on the 3rd-person video on the right, I end up just kind of sliding into position on multiple occasions. But this stage, I ended up 9th overall, which moves us into our last stage here, which is probably my favorite stage. It was fun starting out in the car. You've got a bunch of steel, like small steel, like these things were 1 inch by 2 inches, sort of like USPSA style steel. So you had to engage all those as well as the turtle rifle targets, and then you dump your rifle, exit the vehicle, and there's a bunch of pistol paper you have to engage as well as a couple poppers. So this one really came down to having good stage planning and executing on that stage plan once the stage is started, which I did not follow my stage plan at all, like what I thought I was going to do. Like right here, I had initially intended to start the swinger before I engaged any of the other pistol targets, but I just completely forgot. Yeah. And you can see right here, I'm like going to engage a target that I already engaged. So overall, I ended up taking 3rd, which was kind of a surprise to me. I was kind of hoping for like top 10. That's where I kind of felt like I was sitting as I was going through, but I ended up at 3rd, which felt really good. Going forward, I have a whole list of stuff that I know I need to work on, and so, you know, that's why you go shoot matches, is you get to pressure test your skills and abilities and figure out what you need to work on to become more proficient with your firearm. But with all that said, guys, they have another match coming up here in March, and so I'm going to be going to that and seeing how they change things up. So keep an eye out for a video on that. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video. Have a good day.